I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Scary Delta. Bob the Drag Queen's on the show today, and we talk about everything. I decided to take a seat in the guest spot because I wanted to find out if world-renowned interior decorator Willis Arrington really knows what they're talking about. But first, do you want to see me go off? Because I think you want to see me go off.
Oh.
Mom!
Do you hold the space? Are you very scary like me? Ghoulish, gory? Ooh, are you on the edge like me? Turned on by a corpse? Bargains fall across the strip mall. The lunch hour is close at hand. Karens crawl in search of managerial blood, and goblin monsters terrorize this 99-cent neighborhood. Pumpkin spice, flickering candles, seasonal whiskey by the handles, scented soaps, unlimited soups, a TJ Maxx, I gots to poops, a cold Diet Coke, a small fried fish. When hearts gather round, we have one wish. Oh wait, is that a spirit Halloween? It's Very Scary Delta! I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Scary Delta, a luxury public access podcast and YouTube talk show where I look gorgeous, speak extemporaneously, and invite fascinating people to sit on the couch and get very Delta. Very Delta is for the woman who has plenty of vampire blood foaming hand soap from last year, but will still be going to Bath & Body Works for a stock of Ghoul Friend. But first, let's get into some things that are very Delta.
Go off, Delta!
Dear Delta, I'm very concerned about the comfort of your guests. The current green couch you have on your set sits far too low to the ground. I understand this vintage style is an aesthetic choice and blends seamlessly into your luxury public access brand. However, I can't bear to see another guest fold themselves in half on your show. You seem to be sitting perfectly upright with your feet flat on the ground. Don't your guests deserve the same level of comfort? The blue sofa from episodes 1 through 75 sat a bit higher, but not high enough. The new green one is absolutely egregious in terms of comfort, not style. Please confer with your guests regarding their comfort and also bring this up with your podcast's art director immediately, if not sooner. Sitting very comfortably, Willis Arrington. Willis? I never thought about this. I never thought about the comfort of other people. Maybe because this is my home, and my concern is my comfort and what I like to look at. I didn't know about your agency. Are you part of a design firm? Is that what happens? I'm not familiar at all. But I will tell you, as somebody who does drag, just like my guests do, and as someone who has been a guest on podcasts, Sirius XM talk shows, live broadcast shows, that I do understand what it is to be uncomfortable or comfortable in any setting. And I think you have to understand something. We make television. We make art. We do things like cheat for camera. We do things like finding the right angle. And this set, if you did not know, I know you refer to the art director. I am the art director. I decide the adjacencies. I decide what it looks like here. And there are other people who help make that possible. And we brought in an art director who helped design this. In fact, I picked out this sofa. From 17 different sofas, I picked out this color, this height. I sat in it. I decided what it would feel like. In fact, you'll see me sitting in this very sofa right here, and I'm quite comfortable in it. Why would you send a letter like this? I bet you're one of those people that goes into someone's home and tells them how they could correct their recipe. Don't you do that? I bet you're one of those people who goes into someone's home and says, I don't like this kind of tea. I just won't have anything to drink. You know, you shouldn't do that. It's very ill mannered. When you go into someone's home, you find something positive to say. Do you think that one day you might be a guest on this show? Is that why you're concerned? You'll never be a guest on this show. This is for celebrities, style makers, people who deal in art, luxury, beauty, glamour, people who have something to say, not blithering idiots. This show's not for you. I appreciate that you understand why the set looks the way it looks, but I don't think you understand that not everything in the creation of television has to do with function. And so I think you're speaking a little bit out of school. If you were sitting here, that's something you could say, but how do you know that the guests are uncomfortable? Sure, we've had Mija come in here and lay across the sofa, not sit comfortably, but that was her fault. She's the one who decided to wear a corset and high heels and be a monster. That's not my fault. All of the guests are wildly comfortable or they wouldn't invite themselves here. Do you know that there's plenty of shows out there that I've declined because I thought it was going to be uncomfortable? I just look at the situation and I say, I don't want to be there. We are this far into the show and we haven't had anyone decline being here because they thought it was going to be uncomfortable. Only you. Why are you so concerned? Who told you they were uncomfortable? Is this a narrative that you're creating? Where are you when you create this narrative? Are you in your parents' basement? Are you stealing Wi-Fi from Target? Are you just writing these things because you want someone to recognize you? We recognized you. We got your letter. I don't always get these letters. These letters filter through all the way up to me, and then I look at them. And we saw this one, and I saw it as a teaching lesson. I wanted everyone around to realize while we always respond to positive, we sometimes have to take the negative and use it as a teaching lesson. I don't think anyone out there wants to behave this way. I don't think you want to behave this way either. I don't think you really think it's uncomfortable. I think you were looking for something niche to say. And that's not the way to go about it at all. Willis, look to my right. Do you see Skelly over there? Look how comfortable Skelly is. A Diet Coke, hair freshly laid. Look how much Skelly's enjoying that spot. All the guests enjoy being there. What is your specific concern? I think if you're spotting something uncomfortable in the guest, it has less to do with where they're sitting and what they're wearing as they're sitting. I do understand that maybe if somebody has really high shoes, their knees might come up high if they're very tall. That's why they have to watch the show and decide, as I present myself into this situation, how am I going to dress so I am best suited? And I will tell you, as somebody who's lived in a large body my entire life, somebody who kicks around with 300 pounds all around them, I look at all of the situations. That's why I've told you, I only sit at a table, not a booth. I've always said I will look at a situation, a barbecue, a wedding, and I will say, this isn't the spot for me. This was designed for other people who don't live in my body. So as people come here and they're invited to my home, it's their job, not my job, to determine whether or not this is the right set. So I think you're speaking from a very interesting place of privilege that I've never had. And I create something that is very, very comfortable, very elegant. And I know you probably think that this is not the right response. You think, why are you so mad? I'm just making a suggestion. I'm upset because no one asked you. And you still are making a narrative. You're creating a storyline this way. This letter had to be brought to my attention because we do get other letters sort of like this. And this is why we say, when you send a letter to readmedelta@gmail.com, we want your questions, we want your queries, we want your concerns that are legitimate. This isn't legitimate. This is a story you're creating. You decided that the guests were uncomfortable. The guests have never said that. Why do you think that is? Do you conduct your life this way all the time? Are you that much of a pill? Do you contribute nothing that you could think of nothing else to discuss about the show other than how you think the sofa is too low? You know what I think? I think your nose is so far up my crack. All you can think about is what I'm doing, every step that I take, every breath that I breathe. I bet you want your nose right in those cushions so you could smell the farts of the guests. Isn't that what you want? I think it is. I think I know who you are. You'll never be here. Willis Arrington, I'm telling you this. That wasn't a nice letter. And I didn't want to have to talk to you like this. But somebody had to. Because your parents didn't. Your friends didn't. A stranger has to tell you. Don't ever invite yourself into someone's home and critique it. It's not very nice. Do you want to see me take a break? I think you want to see me take a break. Today's guest is a woke man in a dress. She's a drag queen, an actor, a comedian, always enters the room purse first. You know her from your favorite podcast, Sibling Rivalry. It's Bob the Drag Queen.
It's me. First of all, thank you so much for having me back. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but Delta doesn't do a whole lot of repeat visitors. So I feel very honored
I'm glad you're here.
be allowed to be back. I'm sure some people have been back more than once, but I feel honored to be in the ranks of the girls who get to come back and do it again. This is my all-stars.
Oh my God, what were we calling it? Double Diamond, or we were trying to make up a name for it. Double Orange Diamond.
Can I tell you something that I'm very proud of that I really brag to all the girls about? Because all the girls fly a lot, right? And so there's Delta Silver,
right?
Gold, Diamond, and then there's the one above, which is called Delta 360.
Okay.
And to be in Delta 360, you have to be invited.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's Delta 360.
So Monet was like, how can I get into Delta 360? So I was on the phone at the 360 lounge. They have a little private entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And Monet was like, ask them if they can get me in. And I was like, hey, this is my friend. This is his name. This is his Sky Miles number. And they were like, no, it's an invite only thing.
Wow.
They were like, no one knows why. I think there was just some queen who worked there who was like, oh my, saw my legal name, was like, oh my God, I'm going to give Bob an invite to Delta 360.
But not Monet.
Not Monet. She doesn't get it. Sorry. The girls who get it, and the girls who don't.
And now, this is based on how much you fly and what all this other stuff. I always wondered, like, God, how come I don't have anything? Like, I don't have no points anywhere. I book everything through Travelocity and Priceline. So.
Well, there it is. Well, also, are you like loyal to one airline?
Nah, I'm not.
That's your problem.
Whatever's cheap.
No, you gotta pick one airline.
Yeah.
And in my humble opinion, it does pay off if you stick to one airline. That's the whole point of it, right? They make you, loyal to them, and they get you little perks. You can come to the lounge. You can come to the special entrance. You can get upgraded to the front of the plane. And when I was first starting out in traveling, Thorgy was never loyal to any airline.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept gagging when all the girls would get upgraded. None of us had first class. We were just getting upgraded to first class.
Right.
And she was sitting at the back of the plane mad.
Pissed.
She was mad that my assistant sat in front of her. She will never let it go. And I was like, well, he chose to be loyal to Delta.
I guess, yeah, I mean, it does make sense. You do get a perk for paying for that premium service. I mean, because I always, even with booking through Travelocity or whatever, I always book a first class flight on my own dime.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not giving me any benefits.
Exactly.
What, 10% off the next hotel at Spring Hill Suites?
See, keep buying the seats at the back of the plane. They will just give you a seat at the front of the plane.
Right. Natalie Cole once said, wild women do and they don't regret it. Did you know that?
I did not know Natalie Cole said that.
She did. And This Is Wild. Tell me about the This Is Wild tour.
Okay, I'm so excited. So This Is Wild is my tour. This is my first ever international solo tour. So I've already done Australia. I'm right now in the middle of doing my American tour. And then I'll be going to the UK and the EU. And hopefully I can make my way down to South America, Africa, and Asia at some point. If there's any promoters out there who want to see my hilarious stand-up comedy, I am an award-winning comedian. I won a Webby last year for my special Woke Man in a Dress, which is available for free on YouTube if you want to check it out. I'm really, really proud of it. I filmed it at Madison, Wisconsin, at Comedy on State in Madison, Wisconsin. And this is truly my love letter to millennials. Like, this is, as a millennial, as a proud representative of the Millens, this is my love letter to us, what we've endured, who we are, what we've come through. I'm obsessed.
Who are millennials?
So millennials are anyone born between like 1981 and 1994. So if you are don't make me do math, but if you're like 42 right now in 2024, you're a millennial.
Mhm.
Down to like 28, 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what have millennials gone through? I'm a Gen X,
Mm-hmm.
and
The one that no one talks like no one ever talks
Right.
about. It's all boomers, millennials, and Gen Z. No one ever talks about the Gen X.
well, I feel like Gen X definitely has a foot in boomer. Like I see it all the time.
Well, it depends on which end of Gen X you're on. Some are very Zoomers and some are Zillennials, right?
Okay.
So someone like Eminem might be considered a Zillennial.
Okay.
So Eminem is a Gen Xer, but he is part of the zeitgeist of millennials because we were young when he was an adult. He was very, very popular. So we're seeing people like, say he's older than like Beyonce's a millennial, Lady Gaga's a millennial. All your favorite pop stars, Taylor Swift, Nicki Minaj. No, Nicki Minaj might be a Gen Xer. All these pop stars, they're all of the millennial
Yeah.
experience. Yeah,
Except Madonna.
except Madonna. Madonna is a boomer.
She is a boomer.
Yeah, she's a boomer.
Which is so weird to me. I grew up with Madonna, and Madonna.
Like in the same neighborhood.
Well, in the same house.
Oh,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. I was upstairs. My bedroom was upstairs.
Got it.
No, but being raised with Madonna music, I was just talking to someone recently and they said, oh, we're doing an 80s theme event. I think I'm going to do a Madonna song. And I was like, Madonna is not an 80s theme. Madonna is the theme. There's too much music there.
That is true.
Don't you think?
Oh, no, for sure. Which is why they have these things called like Madonna-rama. If you don't know, Madonna-rama is when you go to a nightclub or a bar and they are only playing Madonna, nothing else. And there are some hardcore Madonna-ramas where if you even play a song like 4 minutes with Justin Timberlake, the crowd will start booing. They're like, we don't want no features. We want Madonna, exclusively Madonna. And Madonna is an entire experience. Being in the Madonna zeitgeist, in the Madonna sphere, and her micro economy that she has created, it's one of those things where you think you know someone with money, and then you meet someone with money.
Right.
Like you hang out with like someone like Trixie Mattel, who certainly has a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this has a lot of money. And then you go over to Madonna's, and you're like, this is money.
Yeah.
She's like, I would not be shocked if she had her face printed on a bill. Like but she's not weird about it, in my opinion. But we weren't like spending every waking hour together. So she probably gets weird when I'm not around.
I think last time you were here, we talked a little bit about the Madonna tour.
Mhm.
Maybe we did. And now that part is done, how does that reflection on that?
Well, I kind of can't believe it. So the whole process, rehearsal to show, was a year and a half.
Wow.
I want to give you all a bit of, just give you some perspective. We started rehearsals, and then Beyonce's team started rehearsals, and then Beyonce's team went on tour, and then Beyonce finished the tour, and we were still rehearsing.
Wow.
That is insane.
Yeah.
In the time that Beyonce started rehearsals, did a tour, and finished the tour, we were still rehearsing. And obviously, Madonna did get sick in the middle of rehearsals, so that's part of it. But also, Madonna legendarily rehearsed, and no one rehearses like her.
With that like tight choreography and knowing when you're supposed to be on stage and not, is there ever a moment where you're like stuck and you're like, my shoe is this, or I can't get to the stage and I'm supposed to be there? How do you?
Yes, there are moments like this. So I've had a few moments on stage. So I kind of snuck, if you all look through videos of me performing Vogue in the early days, everything before Los Angeles, I was just holding a plain microphone. And then one day I was like, what if I just snuck in a microphone that had my name written on it? So I had my boyfriend just bring this mic holder that I have that has Bob just like in big rhinestone on the front, and she never noticed, so I just kept doing it.
That is so funny.
But it's like a koozie almost for a microphone. So you put the microphone in it, and one day I was doing the choreography, and I threw my hand up, and I heard this like kong, and my microphone slipped out of this thing and just hit the stage. So I am now, there's like, I'm about to have this talk, but there's no mic. I was like, oh my God, but you can't go back because it's this moment where we're all walking down. Madonna's in front. I am right behind Madonna. It's Madonna and then me, or maybe two dancers then me. We're all going forward. Luckily, this dancer named Sierra Herrera, shout out to Sierra, saw my mic, picked it up, and like slipped it back to me flawlessly. These dancers are immaculate people. They are such professionals. They're so professional. And then one time there's this like, I mean, literally a hole in the stage the size of my heel.
Mm-mm.
Just the size of my heel. I go to step and my heel is stuck in the hole and I just walk right out of my shoe.
No.
So I am now on stage on releve on one foot and in the heel on the other foot because my heel got caught in that tiny little pole. I think I was in, I can't remember where I was, but there are people like zooming in on my one toe, and when I'm in my tuxedo. doing
Live
photo.
theater.
Yeah, literally, very, very live
Literally.
theater. But besides that, I mean, this show was so tight. Like, it really was in your bones. Like, it was very rare that something would slip up because we had multiple costumes, so many rehearsals, contingency plans in case something did go bad.
Would you go on tour with JoJo Siwa?
Ooh, that's a good question. If we were double headlining,
Mm-hmm.
so touring with Madonna, so I was second fiddle. And by the way, not even a close second fiddle. Like way down the line, second fiddle to Madonna. I don't know that I have the capacity to do that again or for any other artist, to be honest. Maybe, I don't think I could maybe for Madonna, I don't think Madonna would ask me to go on tour again. Like, she doesn't really redo. She's more of a reinvention queen than a redo queen. Although I have hosted too. I mean, I hosted her Pride event, and I hosted her tour. But being that second fiddle to like such a big, I'm used to either being equal billing,
Right.
or at the top of the bill, quite frankly. Like when we do Work the World or these Murray and Peter tours or these, Brendan Voss and Holy Trinity and In the Dark and all these companies, all the queens are pretty equal footing. And I just don't know that I have it in me to do. Maybe not for a year and a half. A year and a half was a lot. I had to just put everything on hold for a year and a half. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, I freak out when I'm gone for like a few days. I'm like, I have to be home. I'm such a creature of habit.
You don't like to travel.
I do, as long as I'm compensated and facilitated.
That's fair.
Let's take a break. We are back with Bob the Drag Queen.
I'm sorry. This couch is like, it's just it's really uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah, it's like my back. It just doesn't feel considerate.
Well, this is the second time you've been here. How was the other couch?
I had to go to the chiropractor.
Oh, really?
Afterwards. Yeah, it's like this. It's like.
Is it the pillows?
Is there a workman's comp?
You're gonna
work them's comp? Listen, I want to tell people this. This is a thing going on the internet. I am non-binary, but my pronouns are not they, them.
What are they?
Like he or she.
Okay.
Everyone's always they, theming me. Like all people I know personally. I'm like, I've never they, them'd.
Mm-hmm. I feel bad because I don't know enough, and every time I try to read up on it, like when I see Z or
Zzier.
Zay, Latin, not
Mhm.
Latino, I don't know.
Do you identify as Latino?
I mean, I just tell people I'm Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
but if somebody said Latino, I don't know. I feel like whatever you say, just like call me whatever.
I got into a big argument one time with Z-Way
Okay,
about Hispanic. It was on the show. They did not make the air. It wasn't a big argument. I'm being a little bit dramatic. But I said, I was like, well, Hispanic just means you're from a country where they speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, no. And she's like, Hispanic, she was trying to equate it to like Latin American. And I said, no. You can be Hispanic. Like, for example, I said, Spanish people are Hispanic. And she's like, no. I was like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Spanish, people from Spain are Hispanic. And she was like, no. And then we looked it up, and I was right. And she still insisted that she was right. And I think it's why I didn't make the cut.
Really?
I love to watch people Google things that I know I'm right about. Oh, it is the most I just look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, and I don't even break out. They're looking down. I'm just looking directly where their eyes are. So they look up and they try to move on. They try to change the subject.
Sure.
They try to be like, oh, so we're going to, no.
No, tell me what he said.
We're going to, no. We'll discuss lunch in a second. I want to know what the definition says, honey.
Read it all.
Read the whole thing, all 15 definitions. And maybe somewhere down the line we'll get to your answer. But mine was the first one. I am a bit of a know-it-all.
That's fine. If you know it, you know it all. If you know it, why wouldn't you assert that?
Oh, who is this, by the way? I feel like Ozempic's gone too far, Hollywood. Like, I just want to say, like, it's okay to, like, there comes a point where you just want to maybe reevaluate how much Ozempic you're on.
Well, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop because, as long as I've been alive, almost 50 years now, every time there's like sort of a fad, then there's like a notification 2 years later, like, hey, everyone, we found out that you're going to turn green. You know,
I mean, Wicked's coming out.
yeah, true. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen.
So I am on the Ozempic.
Okay.
I think I'm on slow Ozempic because everyone I know who takes it loses weight so fast. Me, not so much. Not so, but also to be fair, I was prescribed Ozempic because I was overweight, and I'm also pre-diabetic. I also have high blood pressure. I'm a concoction.
Plus, you know it all.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
also a know-it-all.
Right.
So my doctor's like, you actually really need to be on Ozempic. I'm on like the semaglutide, the generic version of it. And I don't think I'm like, when I hear my friends who are on like Ozempic, they're on massive doses, and I'm on one just so I can stop being pre-diabetic, so I can finally get my life insurance policy back.
But don't they say like, once you're on, plan to lose like 1 to 2 pounds a week or something? And I'm like, can't you just do that by like not having dessert?
I mean, I downloaded this app that was helping me count my calories, and I lost more weight doing that than I have lost on semaglutide. But I also do think that if I went back to my doctor like I want to do it for weight loss, I'd probably lose more weight. Did you know that being pre-diabetic is a pre-existing condition? So pre-condition is a pre-existing condition. I found that out when I went to go get life insurance.
Why do you think they don't count your eyes and your teeth as part of your body in medical insurance?
It's all a scam. I'm gonna tell you right now, my house burned down in January, and it has been a nightmare getting the money from the insurance company. I have spent 2 hours just today on the phone. Over the course of this past 2 weeks, I've been on the phone for easily 10 hours, mostly on hold, being bounced from department to department. Insurance companies are so scammy. They are the lowest of the low. They are scum, truly the scummiest. They don't care that your house burned down. You're like, dude, my house, like I've lost everything.
Right.
I have literally lost everything. Can you just give me the money that you promised me you'd give me in the odd occurrence that I would lose everything? Now that I have lost everything, can I please have money so I can repurchase the things that I've lost? And they are acting like I'm asking for the moon.
Right. Like that's not part of it. That's not the thing.
It's the part of it.
It's
the whole thing. That's the whole thing. And I'm pissed off. And most of your clients still have their homes. I'm one of the people who's lost their home. My whole family got displaced. 5 adults had to move to different places. I'm like, yo, we are out here like struggling. Give me the money that you owe me.
Right.
And I want it now.
Well, and the reality is, I mean, they don't have those kind of payouts all the time because this doesn't happen to people all the time.
Yeah.
So when it does, you would think that, well, you're paying us so we can be there in your time of need. You paid into this.
It's been insane. I don't recommend having your house burned down. Anyone out there watching, if you're thinking about trying it out, I really don't recommend it.
I was gonna do it, and then I'm like,
don't say that on camera. If your house burns down now, the insurance company, they will find this. That's how crazy they are. They will find this video and be like, here's Delta. They'll use your full legal name.
Hispanic. Causing panic.
Literally, I'd be like, they're scum. I can't stand insurance companies.
Yeah.
If you're an insurance adjuster, get a new job. You can't be. This system is insane. Part of me is like, what if I would never open an insurance company. Is there one out there who's like, we're actually not skeezy or sleazy?
What do you hate most about Monet Exchange?
Ooh, is this an extended
episode? Yeah.
No, I would. So I'm screaming.
I think it's fine. You know it all. So why wouldn't you?
I am I hear myself, and I think it was insurance talk that got me so up. So I'm going to readjust my volume. Monet knows how to get my goat. My goat she has full custody of my goat. I see it on maybe weekends. Like is it goat or goad? Anyway, I'm going to say goat. She knows how to piss me off. And even when I see it coming, I just don't have the capacity to be like, I'm not going to let you get me. She always gets me. Every single time. She knows how to piss me off. And she does it intentionally. Like she will lie about something. I will know she's lying. She'll know she's lying. But it drives me crazy that she's lying. And she will not admit that she's lying.
Why does she do that?
I don't know. Like there was some show I was like, you need to watch this show. I want to say it's called Gullah Gullah, something like that. And I was like, well, we should you watch the movie. She goes, I don't have Amazon. And I was like, you have Amazon. She goes, I don't have Amazon. I was like, Monet, I've been to your house.
Mhm.
I've watched TV with you. You have Amazon. And I was like, then just get Amazon. She goes, I can't get Amazon. And I know that should not bother me and it should not drive me crazy, but she does it because she knows it drives me crazy, and I give her what she wants by letting it make me crazy.
Why does she do that?
I think she likes to see me frustrated, and honestly, so do the fans. And I'm so easily frustrated with it. And it's really just a Monet thing. Like only Monet gets me like this.
Well, they say that humans and cats are the only two creatures that will torture their prey before they kill him.
Maybe Monet's gonna kill me.
She's a cat.
I mean, well, I think Monet. See, I think people are either cats or dogs.
Okay.
I am a cat.
Okay. What kind?
I feel like I am one of those sassy looking Siamese cats who doesn't really give a whole lot of time to anyone.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But if the cat does like you, it will be obsessed. It will obsess over you. It will protect you very viciously.
Right.
And Monet is more like a dog, a very friendly Saint Bernard who is really nice, kind of slobs a lot, a little bit clumsy, but like hard to hate, like almost impossible to
Mhm.
hate a big, beautiful Saint Bernard. Like
Right.
what kind of animal, what kind of monster hates a Saint Bernard? You know what I
Right.
mean?
I think that's true. How long have the two of you known one another?
Ooh, I want to say maybe 12, 13 years now.
Wow.
We met when Monet first started drag, and I have been doing drag for maybe like 2 or 3 years maybe.
Mhm.
We met at this bar called the Ritz in New York City. It was a show called Saliva Tuesdays, which is ironic because it actually was on Wednesday mornings. Technically, the show started on
Saliva.
Saliva.
Uh-huh.
It was hosted by Thorgy and Azrea.
And what would happen at a saliva show?
Oh my God. So Saliva was kind of the bridge between Brooklyn and Manhattan, actually. So Thorgy is actually kind of one of the founders of the modern day Brooklyn drag scene.
Okay.
A lot of people don't give her that credit, but she actually is. It's her, Mocha Light, Misty Meaner, Crystal Something Something, Backspace, Lady Blue. All these queens were performing at like this bar called Sugarland, and then This and That, which don't even exist anymore. And it wasn't all pageantry and camp. Like New York City is not known for its pageantry, but it's known for very camp drag. Like Jackie Beats, Sherry Vine,
Mhm.
Mona Foote, RuPaul. These are all queens from the New York City scene. And Thorgy and her friends were kind of fostering this like not club kid, but like artsy, fartsy, weird, don't have to shave your legs. You call yourself a drag queen even though your presentation isn't particularly feminine. As long as you're in some makeup and maybe a wig, maybe and a heel, you're part of the drag scene. And now that's like kind of very pervasive in the Brooklyn drag scene.
Yeah, for sure. Because now people, everyone with the all drag is valid,
Mhm.
and which is, I think, very true. I mean, everyone can tell their story how they want to tell their story and do what they want to do. But sometimes I'm like,
Yeah, you can still be like, I don't care for this kind of drag. There was this queen named Elizabeth James,
okay,
moved from Tennessee to New York City. I love a drag queen with a completely cisgender woman name. Elizabeth James,
right.
Jessica Smith, Amanda Brown,
Melanie Williams.
Melanie Williams. Her name was Elizabeth James. And then she moved here and she was a very Southern pageant queen.
Okay.
And then she got into the Brooklyn scene and she kind of became like a kind of gender queen. And then one day she just did this thing. It really flipped the scene upside down. She just started showing up to her gigs completely out of drag. And I don't mean like alternative drag. I mean like in khakis.
Like out of drag.
Out of drag. No makeup, no
And
heels.
she said I'm valid.
No nails, just in pedestrian boy clothes. And people went crazy. People were like, this is bullshit. This is lazy. I don't know if she was doing it as a performance art piece or what, but it pissed people off. And honestly, I think it was kind of fierce. Like I wouldn't keep going back to that show because at this point you're just watching someone on stage do lips. I don't even know what it is you're watching.
Right.
Because it's just like your friend in their bedroom lip syncing
Mm-hmm.
and then talking into the microphone. But people were mad, like livid that she would go to her gigs just complete. I would never have the audacity. I would do stand-up comedy out of drag, but I do not have what it takes to just get up on stage and lip sync in my Doc Martens, my
You gotta have
cargo
something on.
I would have to have. I don't have what it takes. That is bold on a different level.
What inspired this look today for the show?
Oh, so this, so it's we're all dressing up. All right, it's very scary Delta, and I was like, what's scarier than when Delta?
I thought you were Raven. I thought because everyone thinks
Which is crazy. Like, do y'all know y'all's drag history? This is the infamous Manila V Delta lip sync, and also the pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me, please, Ruby. That is burned into my brain. You kneeling, holding. It's the holding of the bracelet.
a mess.
A
mess.
The holding of the bracelet, truly inspired.
You know what? I think I was so frustrated. I was like, you know what? This is not the place for me. You got to be good at drag. You can be good at drag, but you got to be good at drag race.
As
And
the
if-
Delano said, I don't belong here.
If you start looking at stuff and you're like, oh, I don't know how to wrap myself around this. I got to go. I can't look beyond this because, there's people that are like, oh no, I know what they're doing here. I'm stronger than this. I didn't think I was stronger than that. I was like, I got to go.
And the thing about doing Drag Race, it is a specific kind of drag. It's like going from Continental to Miss Gay US of A.
Sure.
And those of you who are pageant girls, you get it. The rubric is completely different. It's like going from Entertainer of the Year and then going to compete in Miss Continental.
Right.
Like, you might be great at Entertainer of the Year, but you don't understand that they're grading on a completely different rubric when it comes to Miss Continental. You know what I mean?
100%.
And Drag Race is so specific. I happen to be someone who's just very good at Drag Race. I do not think I do well at Continental. I might do well at Entertainer of the Year or like a comedy queen pageant. But like when it comes to something like RuPaul's Drag Race, it is such a specific skill set. And because I'm a Drag Race baby, I watched season 1 and I was like, I'm gonna get into drag. I started doing drag after watching season 1, during season 1. And I did drag like once or twice before, but I didn't take it seriously as an art form until I was like, oh, and I wasn't doing it to be on Drag Race because I didn't think it was gonna get more seasons. We used to always be like, oh, season 3 is the last season. Oh, season 4 is the last
for
season.
sure.
We were like, oh, definitely season 5 is the last season. Oh, season 6 definitely the last season. We all thought season 7 was for sure. That was when we were like, the nail's in the coffin.
Yeah.
This was a horrible season. The nail's in the coffin. Looking back, it was actually pretty good. But yeah, I didn't think I'd ever get on Drag Race. I just really wanted to be part of the New York City drag scene. You know what I mean? Also, quick side note: were you proud of the TV you made? Because you made good TV. You were good. You were great TV.
I mean, I appreciate that. I had a good time, but I do feel like, I probably wasn't prepared to be there. I wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't bring what probably somebody else could have brought.
Would you ever compete in reality TV again?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
I would. Yeah, knowing what I know now.
Something crazy like Amazing Race or something like that?
No, I want to do a show where I like, go to people's houses and I'm like, that doesn't look good. And then we go shopping and find stuff. And
You
then
don't
I'm
need a
like,
camera to come judge my house. You can just
that's all I want to do. And then
You'd be like,
win
"Girl,
a
what
lot
the
of
fuck-
money.
the fuck is this?
Because I'm not good at drag race. I'm good at like Sizzler. I'm good at Ross.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at like those challenges.
Would you do like a home swap where they used to decorate each other's homes?
Oh, I don't know.
Because you get to change where you are in my home, but I get to change one room in your home too.
Yeah, you know what? I probably would, just because it is a cheap for camera thing.
But they
and we
get
could-
rid of all your stuff though, I think. I don't know. Let's just say in this scenario, whatever you have in your home, we are getting rid. You can put it in storage, but we are painting the walls. We're going to wallpaper. We're putting down new
If it was
carpet.
someone I knew, I think so. Can it be someone you know, or it has to be just anybody?
They can pick someone, but you don't get to pick. So like I'll pick someone from the mom network.
I see.
Like
Yeah,
you-
I would do it.
Like I'm gonna say
Yes.
you and Meatball.
Yes. I would trust Meatball.
She have a good design eye?
Yes. She's worked, was part of what happened with the set here.
Oh, work. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I think
So
like,
what happened with her drag? No, I'm kidding. I'm
Damn.
kidding. I'm kidding. That was a bit, Meat. That was a bit. You're so good.
yeah, no, I think depending upon, I mean, yeah, like you said, you can't pick, but I mean, I think most people would want you to like what they're doing for you.
If I could pick, I would pick Monet Exchange. She would never pick me. Monet has a beautiful eye. Monet's home is immaculate.
I bet.
Monet's home is stunning. She's thought of everything.
Wow.
Monet's home is magazine ready at any time of the day.
What would you say like the aesthetic is, or the what
I
it
would
reminds
say
you
it's
of?
like a retro deco art kind of vibe with like some cool
Beautiful.
paintings on the wall and stuff. Big, nice, comfy couches. The house is very modern looking without looking uncomfortable.
What does it smell like in there?
I feel like when I go in there, she has like these diffusers that kind of smell like cologne.
Okay.
So the diffusers are like, it's not like mountain berry or like, that's me. I'm like mountain berry, cinnamon, and Monet's like, oh, of course I went down to Tom Ford and purchased a diffuser.
Okay.
Who does
She likes to luxuriate.
She really does.
I like that.
She really does. Like Monet is a very luxurious type, and I'm a very kind of like down to earthy type. Like Monet, I drive a Toyota,
Oh, you're very real.
and Monet drives a Beamer.
Okay. Does she beam in the Beamer and then just beam?
Just beams.
She just beams.
I've heard that everyone who drives a Beamer drives like an asshole, but not Monet. Monet's reinventing what it means to drive. What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a Chevy Malibu.
Chevy Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's real.
That's a family car.
I am very suburban.
That's a family car.
Extremely suburban. Raja will tell everyone that.
I got this close to buying a minivan,
Oh, I'm this close.
and everyone would laugh at me until we got to go somewhere.
Right.
Until you need to try ride to the airport and all your bags.
Mhm.
You're all laughing because I'm in a Toyota Sienna,
Right.
but now look at you in your Ferrari.
Right. And
Who are you
wanna
gonna
be
call
funny.
when you need to go to the airport? The with the
Ghostbusters.
Ferrari or the here at Toyota Sienna?
I'm gonna call Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
Let's take a break. We are back with Bob the Drag Queen. So this is the part of the show called Read Me Delta. And if you want to send a letter to readmedelta@gmail.com, it may make its way here. Unfortunately, it also might be part of the monologue. And, I guess we should
I
revisit
can't stare at
that.
this couch. I'm so sorry.
I know. Ooh. Stretch yourself out.
There we go.
You need some more pillows?
I'm good. I'm just gonna endure.
Okay. Dear Delta and extravagant guest.
Ooh.
I'd first like to start my question with a backstory. I was out with some friends who are also gay, and one of my friends turned to me and said, you don't really act gay to me. This statement, of course, threw me for a loop because I can name two things that may constitute me as flaming. Those being, one, I take penis up my rectum on a semi-regular basis, and two, religiously watch your show, no offense. My question is, should I be more presenting after all? I think me holding back my gayness might be a side effect of me growing up in Southern Virginia, where churches are as common as McDonald's. Any input would be greatly appreciated. Yours truly, Very Logan from Virginia. Should Logan be more outwardly effeminate?
I want to say, hot take: taking it up the rectum does not constitute a gay. There are lots of straight cis women who take it up the rectum, and they're not gay.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there are even some straight men who just want something up there. You know what I mean? We all have the same. Not we all have the same, but we all have very similar anatomies. So if it feels good for the goose, it might feel good for the gander. You know what I mean? But I do think that if you want to signal your queerness to people, it pays to advertise. If you want people to know you're gay, you gotta get gayer. You gotta dress gay. But if it's not part of who you are, if you're not the type to say girl, then don't force yourself to say it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, do you have the group of friends you want? Do you have I happen to be someone who is particularly gay. Now, amongst drag queens, I am considered butch. But amongst the world at large, I'm considered effeminate. So it's very interesting. A lot of queens consider me very butch.
Really?
Yeah, which I don't necessarily get. I don't think I'm like I'm not like, is there like a butch queen? I mean, I do have butch on my hands. But like, I don't know, a drag queen's like, I'm like a butch drag queen. Maddie Morphus?
Maybe. I think, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to wrap myself around this idea that that you would want to act more like other people to prove. That just seems weird. I do feel like there are drag queens that I guess in order to maintain like a healthy mental space, emotional space, they believe themselves to be a character.
That is wild to me.
And if that's what you do, like, that's fine. But for me, I feel like I definitely feel like when I'm in drag, I have a little more carte blanche to say or react to things differently. But I'm the same in or out. Like people call me Delta when I'm in drag or out of drag. And I feel like my opinions are the same. My voice doesn't really change. Like your voice doesn't change.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like when I talk to you in or out of drag and I have both, I'm talking to the same person with the same convictions.
I agree. People who have like a different person. Now there are some people who have like a literal different persona. Someone like Varla Jean Merman.
1000%.
Someone like Dina Martina.
Mhm.
They have literal complete character. They actually have characters.
Yep.
And then you meet a queen like, Fufu LaShoe, and she
Melanie Williams.
Melanie Williams, Elizabeth Jones, Samantha, Rigmeyer. These queens,
That name out of nowhere.
these queens, they're not doing anything different. They're not putting on a voice. They're just putting on drag and being like, oh, it's the character.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know what the character seems like is based on you.
Yeah. So you could just be
It's
you.
very based on a true story. Years ago, Jasmine Masters talked about a girl she used to hook up with.
Okay.
She used to have sex with. And I want to challenge Jasmine Masters. I don't think that the name she said is true.
What was
I
it?
think she made up a name.
She was protecting their anonymity.
And this is what it was. She said the woman's name was Guadalupe McGillicuddy.
I don't.
And I just don't think there is a Mexican person who has an Irish parent who's going by Guadalupe McGillicuddy. If you're out there,
Mm-hmm.
she was a big girl because I'm pretty sure she was a big girl because she was talking about how much fat girls have good. And she's like, I fell into some fat girl with some good zhush. So some good yank. I fell into a fat girl with some good yank. So she goes, Guadalupe McGillicuddy. And I was like, you made that name up. I need Guadalupe McGillicuddy to come to the front of the classroom.
There is a restaurant called Carlos Murphy's.
See,
So it's maybe
it
she worked
is
there.
possible.
The parents of Guadalupe, maybe.
Because Guadalupe McGillicuddy
That
is
name, I think, is
crazy.
I think that's not a real name.
Guadalupe, please come forward.
Please step forward.
I want to see what a Guadalupe McGillicuddy looks like.
What do you think? Describe.
There's like a lot of Mexicans with red hair. You heard about this?
Yes.
You Mexican, so you know about this.
Yes.
There's a big group of Mexicans who have red hair. I think she's one of the redhead Mexicans.
Yeah.
I think Guadalupe McGillicuddy has a very large bosom,
Mhm.
but I don't think she has a big butt. I think she's maybe a little bit of a ice cream cone shape.
Yeah, I see
Broad
that.
shoulders, big titties, narrow waist, skinny
Big
little
back,
ankles.
Big back.
Big back. But obviously she got good yank. There is a
Right.
trail of men following Ms. McGill if she's not married yet.
Because she still has grip.
Yeah.
Right.
But she has the lips that grip, as they say.
Mhm.
She doesn't strike me as the kind of woman who would change her last name if she got married.
Oh, I get
She would not take your last name. My last name is McGillicuddy.
Right.
I'm Guadalupe. I used to Jasmine Masters.
Right. So what do you think I'm going to change for you?
Change for you. My last name is it Masters?
Right.
That's another one of those kind of like cisgender woman last name, Jasmine Masters. Did you know that Shangela said that she found the name Shangela
Mhm.
in a book at like her office she used to work at? There was a customer named Shangela.
Oh, huh.
Not just Shangela Wadley. So she just literally just took a woman's name.
And then
Like she looked in the thing like, oh, I'll have it.
and then she was like Laquifa for fun.
I'm pretty sure. But is there a woman like Shangela Wadley also? Is she like what?
It's like she went into like in the library, like the checkout slip or something, and their name was on there. Is that
Well, Shangela used to work at some company that had like all this, like some company that had like a list of clients or something.
Mhm.
And she just saw Shangela Wadley's name in there. She was like, I'll have it. Thank you.
That's who I am.
So is that woman at home like, what the is going on?
Yeah. Have you ever experienced people who name their pet after you?
All
Yes.
time.
It's cute, I think.
I like it.
I like it too. I see these centers that will say like, "Oh, we have all these
Always
puppies,"
a censor.
and they're like season 3 names, or
Yeah.
it's,
I do think if you're gonna name your pet after me, you should name it Bob the whatever this animal is.
right.
Like Bob the gerbil, Bob the cat, Bob the horse. But Bob the drag queen seems like a crazy name for a cat.
Yeah,
But Bob the calico
is cute.
is cute.
Can we read another letter?
Let's read, please.
Dear Delta and stunning guest, one of my favorite snacks is pistachios. When I eat pistachios at home, I collect the shells on a small dish towel in order to prevent troublesome nut dust from getting on the couch, carpet, etc.
Love
My
nut dust.
question is, what are your thoughts on messy snacks and tips for minimizing said mess? Do you keep it cute and clean or do you get down and dirty? Is nut dust very Delta? Sending love from Western Massachusetts, very Dave.
So for me, nut dust is when I dehydrate my semen
Okay.
and grind it into a powder.
Okay.
That's what nut dust is. That's what nut dust means to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how Delta that is.
Well, what do you do with it? Is it like a topping or
Seasoning.
Is it seasoning? Yeah.
I put it on a shaker, put it on my popcorn at the
Like
the
a white
movies?
cheddar.
Oh
in a
yeah.
way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It has don't you love your popcorn with a hint of Clorox taste?
You know, there's an account I follow. When you said name your cat like Bob the there's a cat account called Bob the Cheddar, and it's an orange cat. So maybe they did name that, and so I'm thinking of the cheese
Probably.
as well. All this
But
connects.
Is it because Chester is the name of the Cheetos?
Right.
Chester, I think the name is Chester Cheddar.
This
or
is an
Chester
orange
Cheetah.
cat with no ears.
Yeah. Oh, no ears?
It was sick. It was born sick.
Oh.
Right.
Poor thingy.
You have ears.
2 of them.
Do you love earrings?
You can't do drag without an earring.
You got to have something.
Now, I don't think you always have to have nails, but you gotta have an earring.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You have to have an earring.
2 things I feel like you have to make it drag for me. Earrings and eyelashes.
I like both of those things a lot.
Everything, you don't have to have a wig. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to have nails. But earrings and eyelashes, you have to have those 2 things.
I feel like I'm willing to add or subtract my expectation based upon what you're delivering. So if you're somebody that's doing like stand-up comedy and it's really funny, I think you can have less of those drag trappings because you're delivering the jokes, right?
Yeah.
If you are somebody who's like, I'm just going to stand in one spot and I'm going to lip sync.
Oh,
like
you need
this,
everything.
You got to have all that. If you're a dancer, the nails, it doesn't make sense because
I
you're going to
agree.
hurt yourself. The big earrings all over the place are going to get stuck, rings on your hands because you're doing more.
But a little button. You can have a little button.
Yeah, a little something.
Yeah, a little button. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's your go-to earring?
So a gold hoop.
Okay, see, I'm a hoop too.
Always a gold hoop. Not always, but
Mhm.
I often have a gold hoop on. That's
Yeah.
my go-to for sure.
Do you have pierced ears?
Yes, I have 5 holes in my ears.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I got my ears pierced because did you watch Real World Hawaii?
I don't think I did.
I had a huge crush on Tech from
Okay.
Real World Hawaii. A massive crush on this guy. And he had 4 earring holes. And I
Okay.
thought he was just so hot. And I was like, I want to get that. I want to look like that.
Have you ever met Tech?
Never, not once, but Alyssa Edwards did a TV show with him.
Well, guess what? Tech, come
Don't
on out.
do this to me. I would scream. And he was on that reality show Alyssa Edwards just did.
Uh-huh.
He's still so hot.
Describe him to me.
He is tall, light-skinned black guy.
Mhm.
He used to have a blonde little afro, but like dark roots with blonde on the tips. But now I think his hair is just black. He usually wears like a little goatee. He kind of has these like circle bug eyes. Rail thin. Tech? Oh my God, no. Rail thin. And just so fucking cute.
Huh.
But he's
Tech.
straight. Probably the last straight guy I ever had a crush
We're
on.
living in a different world now, though.
A
Aren't
real
we?
world, some would say.
Yeah.
This was the last straight guy I probably ever had a crush on. Probably.
Who was the first?
My first crush wasn't a guy, actually. My first crush was Christy Yamaguchi.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
My first ever crush.
Okay. And what do you think that was? Like, was it visual? Was it?
Well, I mean, I'm pansexual. I'm attracted to women.
Mhm.
But I think she's just so stunning. Like she was so talented. And I do think that the leotard was sexy to me.
Mhm.
Her outfit was sexy. She was dressed. I'm gonna step on a limb and say ice skaters are wearing sexy clothes.
What about like a Guadalupe McGillicuddy girl? Would that be? That's not the.
I don't think Guadalupe McGillicuddy's my type.
Uh-huh.
And also, she's been claimed by Jasmine Masters. And
Right.
Jasmine is actively searching for Guadalupe to come back. And I don't want to step on her toes or anything.
Mhm.
So I'm going to stick with Christy Yamaguchi
Mhm.
and Tech.
And so you're fat phobic is basically where this is going.
Because
Yeah.
you
It's
know what?
fine.
We all have a bit of fat phobia in us. And I'm willing to own up to my part in this. I am. Thank you for calling me in.
So
much.
You are ridiculous.
I've been told.
Why are you so ridiculous?
It's a I don't know. It's a speech impediment. I can't.
You
shut the hell up.
legitimately, all I do is laugh whenever I see you on the internet, whenever I get a chance to talk to you. It's so, what do people say, unserious, but it is serious.
Please come to my show. I'm at the Will Turn here in LA.
Mhm.
So I'm inviting you plus one or more if you need, to be honest. I would like for you to become.
I need 2 just for me. So
And so exactly plus
okay.
3. I would love to invite you down to see my show at the Will Turn.
I'd
I'm
love
so
to.
proud of this hour of stand-up comedy. It is truly some of my best writing. And it's very unserious while being completely serious. I'm really fucking proud of this show.
I bet you are. I mean, I really do think that you are just a perfect example of that person who takes what they do very seriously, but not themselves seriously. That's just
Yeah.
how you've always rolled, though.
Yeah,
Like, as
for
long as
sure.
I've had the chance to know you.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for being here.
My
Excited
pleasure.
about your show. Thank you all so much for listening and watching Very Delta. Our show comes out every Monday. Subscribe to Mom Podcast YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. Search for Very Delta on your favorite podcast apps to listen to the audio-only version if you can't handle all of this insanity in the visual format. You can also sign up for our premium offerings on Mom Plus Gold by visiting mompodcast.plus, where you get weekly episodes of more Very Delta. Don't forget to send all of your questions to readmedelta@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram at DeltaWork. And where can people find you on social media?
You can go to first of all, if you want to see me on tour, go to seethedragqueen.com. SEE, like see with your eyes. Seethedragqueen.com. Catch me in a town near you. And you can go to bobthedragqueen.com or go to any social media website and type in Bob the Drag Queen. I will pop up.
Perfect. We love it. Purse first. We'll see you next week. And until then, keep things very scary, Delta. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Margot Padilla. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions. Willis, do you realize that I'm sitting here with my gut hanging out below the 4th button of my dress? You don't know that because we're making television.
Mom!
To listen to Very Delta ad-free, 1 day early, and to get access to more Very Delta and all of Mom Podcast's premium content, check out Mom Plus Gold at mompodcast.plus.